So welcome guys to fifth IoT session. In this session we will discuss Doit.io, and this is basically a simple messaging service for Internet of Things. You can send data from any service, any web application, or a Node.js server, or any server which supports HTTP, and which is capable of making HTTP request. You can send data or receive data, or listen to a endpoint for receiving data using this service. So the service, this Doit.io is created by the same developers who made Freebo.io. Here, as you can see here, the data is coming, and the data is coming from this IoT setup, which I have already. You have seen this IoT setup in all my sessions. Let me check the so basically the developers of Doit.io API is Bug Labs, and this API is very helpful and very easy API. You don't need to set up an account or anything. All you need to do here is making a request or get request or post request, HTTP request to these types of endpoints, and these endpoints are very readable and very simple to understand. Like as you can see in this API, https Doit.io, do it for my thing name hello is equal to world. So what this API means is, you are basically sending data for this thing name. Thing name is, you can put it here as a your microcontroller name, like Node MCU, or your IoT module name, and you can use these types of query parameters to store your data and push data to this API. Pushing data to this API will give you these types of response. As you can see here, these types basically they give a JSON response, and they will store this your data in their not in their database, in their cache memory, which will be cleared after 24-hour period. So if you are building a real-time web application, like you don't need to store data after 24 hours, and you are basically focusing on the current data which is coming and visualizing it, and making analytics on the data, you can use this API. And the API is very simple, as I have already told you. And apart from that, you can also do some good visualization here, as this Doit.io service is directly connected to Freebo.io, like as you can see here. As I clicked on the thing, it's in real time, the data of my mouse coordinates are posted on Doit here. First I have to stop this setup to visualize more clearly. Now make a reload of this page. They give a really interactive demo here in the website as well. Just click on the try it now button, and it will work. The demerit is only one thing. As you can see here, the data is loading or posting or doing these APIs very slow, as they are free. The API is free, they are very slow, and you get your JSON data in response in minimum of at least 3 seconds, and it will depend on your internet connectivity. I don't think this will work currently. So let's understand the API first. Then after that we will check our dashboards. This is the dashboard which I have created on Doit using Doit API. The data is coming from the hardware end. These two data is coming from our hardware end, and these data are publishing these data. We will publish data from here as well, and the same is this whole thing is stored on our MLab database. This is basically a cloud hosted MongoDB database, and just a minute. And before that, before Node.js dashboard, we will discuss freeboard.io. This is very easy drag drop based dashboard, and you can create it very simple. It's very easy. And if you are basically sending some dashboard to your client, you can send it here. And you can also, as you can see here, it is currently running on localhost, but you can deploy this. This is very simple. It's basically a simple index.html file, and you don't need to code anything. This is very drag and drop type dashboard, similar to Blink, but it's working on PC. So let's make a thing and make a basically post data from this API to this thing, to my thing name. Let's make a test thing with question mark dist is equal to 1959, which means that the dist field is value of 59, and this will be posted on the thing test thing. This is the meaning of this this API, this URL. Fine. And let me check the session. Yeah, it's working. So yeah, it's posted now. And after post, as you can see here, as you have posted the data, this response is contained a JSON object which have fields like created, which is basically a timestamp. So you will understand that this API is also very helpful if you are working as something with time series, or every field or every request is contained with a field of created, which contain the timestamp of that request. You will understand it more clearly when I am explaining the dashboard of Node.js. Okay, so the 59 is posted on test thing. And how do we get the data of test thing? So it's very simple request. As we know, this Doit API is created over a Hapi HAPI service. HAPI is a web API service which is human readable, basically API service. You don't need to document your things or your APIs, basically self documenting APIs, human friendly. So like Doit.io get latest API, simple. We will write the API and get latest Doit for our thing. What is our thing? Test underscore thing. For test underscore thing, make a get request from here, and you will get this content on your on your data as a data. In the content field, we will get 59 here. So basically what we have done here is that we will post data using a get request like this, and after that we will make a get request to read the latest Doit for a thing from this URL. Fine. And let's okay, yeah. So we are discussing this. We are discussing getting Doits. So getting the latest Doit is using this URL, and getting the last 5 Doits. This Doit you can store basically 5 Doits, 5 messages from any of your things for over 20, which is stored in this API service for 24 hours. Fine. If a thing hasn't deleted in last 24 hours, its history will be removed. This is the limitation of this API, and but you can get the full version in which the data is stored in this stored Duet's database API service, but it is a paid service which is 1.99 per month. And real time stream, this is the best service which for uh, for real time dashboards. For if you are making a real time dashboards, you will have to use these types of service. This basically if you make a analogy of that, it is similar to a subscription in a MQTT messaging service, in which we subscribe to some topic, and here the topic is similar to thing. Fine. And it also provide alerts, but it is also a paid service. Alerts means you can get a email for achieving a condition, or for making a specific making up to a specific threshold or something, like as you can see here, making some such conditions. And apart from that, the libraries, which external libraries which provided by this organization, is that Node.js. For Node.js, for JavaScript and Python and Ruby, this API can be easily communicated using these type of softwares. These two are official: JavaScript and Node.js. Python and Ruby, these are unofficial libraries. But I have used Python and Node.js. Both are working very smoothly. So now let's understand some more disadvantage of this API is that as I have already explained you can make a Duet with like in this manner, using a get request with a query parameter. But the thing is, if you are making use of these, like test thing, dist is equal to 59, if we make it 55, yeah, so it is posted. So the thing is, as you can see here, the content field can store distance, but the value can be an object too. The distance can have a basically a JSON object here, but using this API you can't send JSON object like this in this manner. You can't send JSON object in using this get API. So using a post API is better in the case if you are sending data in JSON form in these types of fields. So it can be achieved using Postman. So this is the API, post API for the same. After that we have make a question mark and a query parameter, but we don't do such things here. We simply go to body and make a body of dist first 101, second 245. This is the JSON data in the body of a post request. This is the post request. Fine. So making a request here, it takes some time. As I already told you that it is a free API, so it takes time. So this is posted, and now as we get the latest Duet here, get latest Duet for node MCU static, no, for test thing is our thing name. Let me check the session. Yeah, so as you can see here, in distance we are now have a JSON object, and this can be useful in some scenarios. But in this scenario, in my scenario, I am basically storing five you can see it here. I am storing five ultrasonic values, five ultrasonic data in our database, and so I have used the object Okay, fine. So I will discuss it later. We don't need to jump from one topic to another. That will become a confusion. So I will discuss it later. So this is the basics of this doit.io, and now we will watch our demo, how the demo works, and review the code, Arduino code, and after that Node.js code, and that's the motive of this session, to explain you everything about doit.io, the first thing, and this node.js, and how the authentication on, and how these topics are sending data, how these things are sending data to the using doit.io, and the third part of this session will be creating a freeboard dashboard, which I will create, and service, the data source which I have used here is doit.io. These are the data source available, and we have used doit.io here, and let's check the setup. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, so a red LED is turned on already. The Arduino serial monitor, we are basically, what we are doing here is, we need to understand this the architecture first. Okay, so here is the architecture. So we have created three topics: node MCU underscore static, node MCU underscore dynamic, node MCU underscore init. This init is we will discuss it later, because this init these are basically things which I have already told you that this is test thing. Similarly, I've created three things. Okay, so I have created three things. The static thing will we will send static data, like we are sending, I have to show your circuit diagram: red LED data, green LED data, and servo data. We are sending data, these data, to node MCU static field from our dashboard. From, okay, once a minute, a second, just once. Okay, so we are sending data from this dashboard with these three widgets are sending data to node MCU underscore static thing, and node MCU is listening for the data, basically not listening for it, basically making get request in a loop to it's checking this static field. Here we are making two requests here in this sketch. Yeah, this is the get request: get latest do it for auth id underscore node MCU underscore static. What is auth id? Auth id is basically node in Node.js server. We have a specific user. For every specific user we have a id field generated, and this id field is prefixed with these devices, so that every user can have these things to be unique. For making these things to be unique for each user, we are using auth id underscore node MCU underscore static. That's the reason. And similar for this field also, and the third field also, and node MCU is listening for it. And let's check the code first. And as soon as in the response, as we all know, the response is JSON data, and we are checking the response, and in the key of red LED, if we get a value of 1, we make the red, our red basically is defined as the pin, and we are making that pin high, we are making the red LED high, and else we have make it low. This is the condition for red LED, similar as green LED, and same for slider. For slider we are sending slider value, and my servo is a object of servo, which is basically this is the syntax of writing how we write servo data to go to the position, to move the servo motor to that position basically. Fine. So as you can see in the let's control the things first. Toggle red is turned on, let's make it off. Let me check the session. Yeah, okay. So making a off request from here, it takes time actually. It's not that easy. It's, yeah, now it's gone, and as soon as red LED is turned off also. We are making a get request for the latest do it for node MCU static, which is basically used for red LED, green LED and servo. Let me write it here. This HTTP get request is used for red LED, comma, green LED, comma, servo. And posting LDR and distance data every 5 seconds is very simple task. We are not making a post request here. We are using get request basically, which I have already explained, in which we have used query parameter LDR is equal to this and distance dist is equal to this. We are making a post request to auth id underscore node mcu underscore dynamic. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आपको समझ में आ रहा होगा कि बेसिक मैंने किया क्या है कि इस थिंग के नेम पे यहाँ पे LDR डेटा और डिस्टेंस डेटा, वी हैव सेंड दीज डेटा to the API, and as soon as the API receives the data, this Node.js is listening for that data, listening every field of Node MCU static and Node MCU dynamic, listening every field. Node.js, this Node.js dashboard, it will write the listening. As soon as it receives the data, it will notify the Node.js, and it will write that data into our MongoDB database. And similarly for displaying it or visualizing it, as soon as the dashboard.ejs file, we have made the Node.js in EJS templating engine. So as soon as it receives the data here, as we are also listening Node.js Node MCU dynamic and underscore init. We will display the data on these dashboards. Fine. Let's change the servo meter position. Now it's 90. Let's check. Making yeah, now the get request is successful here. Yeah, you can see the movement in the demo. Let me check if the demo is, yeah, demo is working fine. Let me so as you have seen here, the ultrasonic distance, LDR gauge, and these values are updated regularly, and it's working fine now. And we will jump to Freeboard dashboard. As you can also see in here, also the LDR values and ultrasonic values, the distance is also updating in gauge and area chart, and we can change it in real time. We can, as you can see here, we will make the brightness down. It's now 471. As soon as the get request it reads and making a get request, then after the value changes here. Yeah, it's 145. So that is how we changes our data in real time. The data is not changing in that much in much that which I'm basically I want to say that the data is changing with some delay, but it is acceptable if it demands your project, or your project can be support that much delay. It's around 15 second, I think. And ThinkSpeak, a platform, an IoT platform named ThinkSpeak, also has a delay of 15 second as well. And the API also don't have any, I think, maximum limit. Also they don't have that much documentation as well, but they don't define that they have any limitation of making request to these endpoints. So this is the demo of our project. This is the let's make the red LED turned on first. Takes time to make a GET request as well. Now we have make a GET request. Let's check if it is received or not. As soon as it is received, the red LED is turned on. Fine. And it will also turned off here. The delay is around 10 second. Yeah, it's turned off. Let me check the session. Okay, I think the work of our setup is over now. We will directly jump to first the explanation of the code, how this Arduino code is working. We will understand the architecture, node MCU static, node MCU dynamic. Now it's turn to understand this code. We have used a library Arduino HTTP client. You can install it manually, or basically it will pre-installed. When you install basic packages of ESP8266, you will get this Arduino HTTP client, or you can manually install it from the sketches, include library, manage libraries. From here you can also install that library. Fine. सो बेसिकली आपको ये लाइब्रेरी इंस्टॉल कर लेना है. उसके बाद यहाँ पे दो एग्जांपल्स दिए हुए हैं. देयर आर टू एग्जांपल्स हियर, डू इट गेट एंड डू इट पोस्ट. सो I have already told you can make a post request, yeah, like doing to specific things using get request as well. So I have in this sketch I have used get request for posting as well as fetching data. So making get request to fetch data, first these Arduino HTTP client, these are the libraries I have used, included the libraries first, then SSID and password. You need to connect this to the internet, as you are using a cloud hosted database, a cloud hosted service. And trigger pin, echo pin are for ultrasonic sensors. Red and green are for red LEDs and green LEDs. These are the pin definitions, initialization. And server address is doit.io. Port is port 80, as you all know. HTTP port is default port is 80. And auth ID is basically provided by our basically you can say it, you can remove the thing, this auth ID, if you want to, if you are not using Node.js server or anything, because for each user I have used this. For every user we are allocating a auth ID. Fine. And in the setup we are connecting to the Wi-Fi. Fine. As soon as Wi-Fi is connected, we are defining our port, defining our pins as input and output. Red pin, green pin are output, and trigger echo. And we have also used a servo motor library, has include servo.h. So creating a my servo object of a servo class, and defining the pin like this. This is the syntax for that. And in loop we are making two requests. We are making first a get request to this API, to this URL. This is the thing name, auth id underscore node mcu underscore static. This is the thing name. So get latest do it for this thing. Fine. So we are basically checking the red LED, green LED and servo. We are checking, we are sending, we are doing things on these, on the specific things from here, from these widgets, and we are checking those fields here. Basically we are, you can say it here, we are checking things, checking latest do it. This is the functionality of this URL. Making a get request to this URL is used for checking latest do it. And we have used client, two clients, two HTTP client 1 and client 2. We have already defined it here, HTTP client 1, HTTP client 2, for making one first get request and for second get request. Basically I have used this because single client will give us error, in in response, और मोर क्लियरली आई कैन से वो जो एरर दे रहा था वो रिस्पॉन्स बॉडी जो हो रहा था सेम में आ रहा था. जैसे क्लाइंट डॉट, अगर आप सेम क्लाइंट ही यूज़ कर लेते हो, क्लाइंट 1 डॉट रिस्पॉन्स बॉडी, और यहाँ पे भी, और दूसरा जो गेट रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं वहाँ भी आप क्लाइंट 1 डॉट रिस्पॉन्स बॉडी यूज़ कर लेते हो, तो वो रिस्पॉन्स कन्फ्यूज़ कर लेता है. यानी कि ये आर्डिनो स्केच में थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है, क्योंकि इस लाइब्रेरी की ये दिक्कत नहीं है, ये लाइब्रेरी का इशू हो सकता है. लेकिन अभी जो इस इशू को आप रिसॉल्व इसी तरीके से करोगे कि आप 2 क्लाइंट बनाओगे HTTP का. ठीक है, यू शुड मेक 2 क्लाइंट टू रिजॉल्व दिस इशू. यू शुड मेक 2 क्लाइंट्स, क्लाइंट 1 डॉट रिस्पॉन्स बॉडी एंड क्लाइंट 1 डॉट रिस्पॉन्स स्टेटस कोड. फाइन. And in response of this API, you will get the whole body, and you need to basically parse that. As we all know that the body is in JSON format, and in Arduino for parsing this JSON data, it's quite not tough job. It's easy, but it's not that simple, or because for parsing the things you need to use Arduino JSON library, and that library uses some memory, extra memory for parsing your JSON string. Fine. And as soon as we get this response for latest do it, and in this field we need to fetch this. So in the sketch I have used, basically what I have done is I'm in the string I make I fetch the index of content first. Fine. And using with the help of that I have basically fetched down, और मैंने उसका यूज़ कर लिया, सब स्ट्रिंग मैंने वहाँ से फैच कर लिया. मैंने जो क्या किया, मैंने कि जो कंटेंट है, कंटेंट के यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक के बाद जो है, इस पॉइंट के बाद यहाँ तक का इंडेक्स मेरे को पता चल गया. तो मैंने यहाँ से यहाँ तक कंटेंट के बाद का जो है इस डेटा को मैंने फैच कर लिया. ठीक है. और किसकी हेल्प से? इंडेक्स के हेल्प से. मैंने जेसन पार्सिंग करी ही नहीं. आई डोंट यूज़ जेसन पार्सिंग बिकॉज इट्स लिटिल एक्सपेंसिव, लिटिल मेमोरी एक्सपेंसिव. सो दिस द another alternative which I have used here, and this is the key and this is the value. In key, what we have in the key? In key we have red LED, or what is the or you can say the field which is coming in the latest do it. Fine. It might be green LED or it might be servo 2. So red LED, or you can say it can be green LED if someone sending data from that, or it can be SERVO2, servo 2, servo, or you can say it can be slider basically. And in value you have the value for these things. Value: red LED it can be 1 or 0, green LED it can be 1 or 0, and in slider it is any value between 0 and 180 degree. Fine. And if value is 1, we turn on the red LED, else it's off. And if value is 1, we turn on the green LED, else it's off. And same for the slider. Any value which is coming in between 0 and 180 degree is directly pushed to this function my servo dot write, the value which is pushed here. This is the thing. This is the first get request, and in this get request we are basically updating our IoT sensors, or you can say IoT devices. And in second get request we are sending data from the IoT device to the dashboard or to the DoIT API. Fine. We are basically sending to DoIT API using this get request. You can make a post request for such purpose, for the similar purpose, but I have made a get request using query parameter. Let me check the session. Yeah, now circuit, you can I will share every code and circuit diagram in the GitHub repository, so you will check that. So making a second get request, the first we will explain we are basically fetching the LDR data, fetching the distance data, basically getting these data from our sensors using these function analog read, as LDR is connected to pin A0, analog as it is an analog sensor, and trigger radar is a function which return distance, which is calculated using using the ultrasonic sensor, trigger pin and echo pin. Fine. And it return in the distance variable, and these values are directly sent to the DoIT API, and it is fetched at this end. This is fetching those APIs, fetching, or you can say listening to those APIs. Fine. So this is the work, and here the loop ends, and it is 5000 millisecond of delay, that is 5 seconds. So this is how our Arduino sketch works, or making a get request of red LED, making a get request of red LED, green LED servo to basically get data in every loop, so that we can check the state and update the state with updating the sensors, and posting data using the get request too, but the post is subscribed or listened to by our dashboard script, that is Node.js for storing in database, the dashboard script for showing it here. That is quite simple. That is you can understand it more clearly if I will make a blog, so you will go through that too for understanding more clearly, but you will get a basic idea in this session as well. Let's first discuss how I have created this freeboard dashboard. So here is the dashboard freeboard. So as you can see here, it is open source real-time dashboard used by many companies, and you need to first of all there are few steps to install it. You need to clone this library, and after that I will check that. After that, follow my steps. As soon as you install it, yeah, so here is our zip file which we have downloaded. Now you need to extract it anywhere in your computer. Fine. And as you extract it, yeah, so these are the files in it. So you need to open index.html in any server. So you need to have any HTTP server, or you need to basically have this types of text editor, advanced text editor. You can start server like easily from here as well. Fine. So I have installed a server, HTTP server, and it's basically npm server. You will also install it, HTTP server. The command for installing it is very simple: npm install HTTP server -g globally. This is the command. You will install it, and after installing, simply go to a directory in which your index.html file is, and follow this command. Your server is running on 8081 port number 8081 of localhost. Fine. And so the installation process of Firebase is very easy. You need to simply type this command: npm install -g firebase tools. Okay, this is the command. And after installing the Firebase tools, you will simply type Firebase login to log into your account, and after that follow these steps. As you extract the Freeboot dashboard here, you need these files to deploy. Create a directory public here in the root, public, and you need to host index plugins lib js image and the css. These files are hosted, so drag and drop in public. These files need to be hosted, so simply open your command prompt in this directory, as you can see here, and simply, or you can open your command prompt on this directory, the outer in the root directory, and type Firebase init, Firebase init, press yes. You need to use only hosting, press spacebar and enter. Use a existing project or create a new project according to your preference. If you have already project on Firebase, and if you are a new user in Firebase, then create a new project, and if not, use an existing project. I have already project, so I am using an existing project. So here it's asking what do you want to use as a public directory. So we have already made a public directory, so we will use public. This is the default one. Press enter directly. So configure as a single page application. Yes, it should be a single page application, so press yes. And file already exists, overwrite. So you don't need to overwrite it because you have already written the code, so you need to type n here. The Firebase is initialized now, and you need to simply type the command Firebase deploy, deploy. All your JavaScript, HTML, CSS, every file is deployed, and the web application, the Freeboard is deployed on Firebase, and you will get a URL to access that as well. Yeah, we have already, this is the URL to where our files are hosted. Let's check the URL first. This one is running on localhost, and this is the one I have already deployed on Firebase app. Yeah, so it's deployed. Now before deployment, we need to make some changes. We need some extra plugins here. As you can see in my dashboard here, in this dashboard, let me check. Okay, I have closed the dashboard, but in my dashboard I have used some plugin to switch off and switch on the LED like buttons type actuators, and these are not defaults. Like if you need to use add pane and making a, these are the defaults plugin: picture, pointer, sparkline, gauge, text. You don't have actuator or switches here, so you need a plugin. Freeboard plugins, simply this is a plugin GitHub repository on Linux, Freeboard plugins. Click on it and download or clone this repository, and after that use these plugins: actuator, plugin, highchart, and slider. These three things, these three JavaScript files are using in this project. Fine. So you need to use these and paste it in the plugins, third party, paste it here. So I have already installed, so let me check. Yeah, so this is the plugins, third party, slider, highchart, and actuator. These three things you need to paste in this directory, in plugins and highchart, and after that you need to edit the index.html file as well to point to those plugins. As you can see it here, these 3 lines of code are extra. These are not in the initially, but you need to add these 3 lines: plugins slash third party slash actuator js slash plugin highchart .js, or third party slash slider minus plugin.js. These three lines of code should be added in your index.html file. Fine. And after that you will deploy this public again using Firebase, or you can simply deploy it now only. The previous one I have deployed, but you need to first copy and paste the things, the plugins on that third party directory, and after that you need to Firebase init and deploy. But we have already initialize the Firebase, as we have already Firebase files here, .firebase srec .git ignore file, these files. So we all need to do here is Firebase deploy. It will deploy in the same project. Yeah, the same URL. We will get now some extra features. Let's check first if now they are providing these things. Initially they are providing these things only, and after I have changed the our Firebase project. Now if we reload this page, and now we add a panel, and these things are added extra: time series, high chart, slider, and actuator. These three things are added in extra after pasting those files in index.html file. So let me add an actuator, or I will explain the things more fast, because we need to complete the session in 1.5 or less. So I have already created a freeboard dashboard, and dashboard is creating a dashboard. First you need to add a data source. So here we are using doit.io, and name thing name. Let's make it do it underscore API. Name can be anything. Thing name should be specific. So in this the data is coming on things like auth id underscore node MCU static. This is the total thing name. So the authenticated user ID or authenticated user ID underscore node MCU underscore static. LDR, red LED or green LED. These three data are command is basically are coming on these thing, but we don't need that. We are basically using dynamic, the LDR and distance data. We only need this thing. Do it API. Last updated is never. This is the disadvantage which I want to show you. Do it API will not work on your Firebase hosted this freeboard dashboard. This is the disadvantage. If you want to work, if you want to use it, you need to use as a JSON data source and name it as do it HTTP for every 5 second or 10 second. This is the demerit. So we are setting up the refresh rate. So I have set it to 10 second and click on save. Fine, click here on save, and after, as you can see here, the data is now fetching every 5 seconds, and we need to visualize the data on panes. Like we can visualize it on time series high chart. Let's the first data source and do it API. The data is coming from do it API, is not coming on the do it API, it's coming on HTTP. These are the fields in it. We are basically going to this JSON object in which the field we have to fetch is with, and after in init content, and these two contents we need to show on our dashboard. So after that we need to go to with and of 0 array, and in it we need to use LDR, and this is the brightness brightness. Fine, and similarly we need to add the second data source as for distance. Content of dist, and this is showing dist distance. You can modify the dashboard by your preference, and time frame is that how much time you want to show on that time series high chart. So since this is a real-time database, so Let me check the session first. Yeah, so we will use here 50 or 10 second is fine for us. Basically 10 points of data, and make it 5. And your area chart is also shown here. Doit API is not working with Freeboard, but Doit HTTP, by using JSON data request, we are updating data regularly. Fine. So this is how we create dashboard, and after creating dashboards like this, or yeah, this, you can change data on real time as well here. If I will let's first save dashboard. This is the dashboard which I have created, and you need to save dashboard and share it to your client. Save dashboard, click on and predefined version. The JSON dashboard is saved, and you can share this file with your client. You can share it with this link as well. This is the link of the Freeboard which you have hosted, and let's create some more widgets here, and then I will resume the session. I have added more widgets now, and let me give you a small brief of that. URL on, this URL is the URL which will be basically called when the button is pressed, this URL, and this URL will post a red LED is equal to 1. It will post this in our Doit API. So this is how we used in our project, and this is the URL for making the red LED turned off, and this is how we are turning off it. Fine, you can understand this. This is the thing name. It is user specific. This cannot be user specific as well, but as we are sending from NodeMCU to this thing, so we are also subscribed, or you can say we are we are receiving there, so we are sending on the same thing here as well. So this is the URL on and URL off APIs. So we need to make a calls on changing our data. This is pretty awesome, and this is changing in real time for every 5 seconds, but our motive is to change it on basically change the dashboard or change the data when the data receives here. After 5 seconds, if the data is not at the receiving end, it will change automatically, or it will be in a constant state. So my motive is to change the dashboard anytime when the data comes. So that will be possible in MQTT if we will use MQTT, but data source using MQTT is quite tough job in Freeboard, because the API is not that successfully there. As you can see here, there is no MQTT currently, so the plugins are there, but they are not working fine. So Doit is also working good with JSON, but it's not that viable or easy to use here. The Doit.io based API, it's basically, you can say it's as an HTTP API. We are calling an HTTP API. It's not even a Doit. So fine, but after making this you can save it by clicking here, as I have already said. And I have already created a one more dashboard. Let's check that and see how Doit API is working more precisely when data comes the dashboard changes its state. Fine. The thing is, it will change, but uh, you need to first correct the thing name. Our thing name is this prefix for the user, specific user underscore this, and node MCU dynamic for LDR and ultrasonic. Let's check if the data is coming here or not. Make a refresh here. Let me check the session. You get a basic idea how it's work with HTTP JSON API. Like this type is JSON. You no need to take Doit.io, use JSON, and in the URL field use the Doit.io REST API. Simply, this is the thing, this is the type, this is the workaround, or this is how we will work. And in next session or in further sessions I will discuss how to use this perfectly, but currently I don't think so it will work here. Fine. This is updating every 5 seconds. It is also perfect, but our motive is not to update every 5 seconds. Our motive is to update when the data comes, and that is possible only if when we subscribe to specific topics or fields or these types of things. And those types of things are possible using Doit.io, using the libraries, using these libraries which I have used in Node.js. We will directly jump to our Node.js now and check how I created the dashboard. And this is the API which I have used here. 71 stars already, and its last updated is 2015, but it's working fine, currently fine now. And doing or making sending data to a some thing is very simple, a very simple function. And get all Doits up to 500 in the last 24 hours. This is not the functionality you will get here. This is the functionality for paid users only. Alerts is also for paid. And this is the function which I am talking about, listen function. For every new data it will call this function, this callback function. And for every this type of function I am going to send or I'm going to display that on our dashboard, or I'm going to store it on our database. So let's discuss this. The data is coming here. I will console also the same one. And before that let me check the session. Okay, so So the entry point of the server is from you can see it here in package.json. The server is node server slash index.js. In root we have a server folder. In it we have index.js, and the server start on port 2000. Fine. And we have used config.db, in which we are basically used we have a URL of our database. We have a hosted mlab database, MongoDB, and we are using mongoose for managing or storing or making models with MongoDB. And we are connecting here in this index.js file, and we are using or defining our all our routes on in route slash app.js folder. And in routes we have app.js. Every necessary routes and everything is defined here. So from starting we have slash, we will automatically redirect it to slash login, and login we will render our login page with message null. That is, this message defining basically the error message, and initially there is no error message included. So basically we are sending this message to our EJS file. We have used EJS templating engine with our server. Basically we don't have a special client on Angular or React. We have our client inside our server using the templating engine. You can see it here in the folder views. All the templating engine files are there: login, register, reset, dashboard, 404.ejs. These are the simple, this is the basic IoT dashboard project. Initially this is the login page, this is the register page. We will see on let's click on sign out. As you see, as I have sign out, and no more data is now sending to basically we are receiving here, because as soon as we click on logout button, as soon as we have clicked on logout button, we have basically unsubscribe. You can say unsubscribe, or you can say it stop listening to that specific thing, so that we are not listening to that from our server at least. Let me close these extra tabs, then it will be more easy for me. This is the login page. So first I will start with our app.js. Login route is the second thing. The first thing is register route. So making a post request on register route, this is the register sign up. So this is the register get route, this one. The register .ejs is rendered here, and after making a get request, we are checking password, confirm password fields. If they are okay, if they are equal, we are basically, what we are doing is hashing the password. We are not storing password as it is, because for security reasons it is it is preferable to store in this manner, in this hashed password, because if your database is hacked, then you can't basically leak the information. The information you are storing is very sensitive, so it's preferable to use hashing. And in Node.js we have used bcrypt.js. so hash the password with salt size is equal to 10, as you can see here. And after the hashing is completed, we have created a new user. And let me show you the model, that is schema of our database. This is the schema: email, password, register at. It will store the current time at which the user registered. And widgets, in widgets we have toggle red, toggle green, slider, line chart. And line chart we have five values, values that has object with value and when. These two fields, value and when, that is used, basically used for storing the exact value of the ultrasound, the distance, and the when field will contain the exact date of that value, date time, basically timestamp of that value. Fine. And in register route, in register post route, we have stored that user in our database. And making as soon as after that, let's make a user in our database first. iot@gmail.com. let's make a user, this user. Password, what should be the password? You can make any password. Login with same credential. You are redirected here. Fine. And after redirecting, you need to make a post request at using the same credentials. Yeah, so you have redirected to the dashboard with a user ID here, and this is the same user ID which will create on our MongoDB database with that user. Let's check. This is the fourth user, I think, which I have created, iot@gmail.com. This is the user we have created now. Fine. So this is the user, and the initial value is initialize the dashboard like this, with every values as default values as 0, as we can see in our schema, as we can see in our models users.js, default value is set to 0. These are the, so as it is. So after register, we have moved to login route, and in login route we basically, after comparing the password with this password, as soon with this hashed password, we unhash it or decrypt it, and with our hashing algorithm, and we want to we created a token. Basically we have used here a token based authorization, and we have used JWT token, and we have also used a session, because we want to use the functionality of logout feature. So we will also use express session. We have used cookie parser, as you can see in index.js. In this is the cookie parser. Basically we are storing every user token. We are assigning token on each login. Every time a user login to our login, make a post request on login route. So we will give the user a token, and this token is stored on the cookie on the server. Token as a field token, and this is the token option for 3 hours. It is stored for 3 hours automatically, and this is the JWT token. And after this token, we will the user will redirect to its dashboard. And now we need to, in dashboard, we now need to verify that token, because we are basically protecting the dashboard for accessing by random users. So because if anyone know this ID, anyone can basically use it. So for protecting this route, we have basically checking the session stored in the user with the session, is logged in is a middleware. Let's see what is the functionality of is logged in. Yeah, to verify incoming token from a client. As a user, after a token is assigned, token is basically sent to that client, and after every request, after that every request make by the client, he will basically send that token to us, and we will basically, what we will do, we will basically compare it using JWT verify. We will verify it. If it is the same user, then we will authorize the user to access the dashboard. That's simple. That's very not very complicated. If you have knowledge of authorization authentication in Node.js with JWT or Passport.js as well, you can understand it very easily. Fine. So this is the user ID, and we will first check the ID from our database, that if the user exists or not. If the user exists, then we will make these things. First, what we will do is, from Node.js we will do it every field with last value stored in database. The last values, the values which are stored in database, we will do it. We will basically post that things to node mcu underscore init, this thing, and this is basically listened or read by dashboard script. Like we will you can see it here, dueted. You can, as you can see it here, dueted. This is the console.log dueted. As we send last value stored in database to duet API to display our database. We are basically using it for initializing our database. I need to show you the script.js. Basically script.js is the script file of this dashboard. Fine, you can see it here in dashboard.ejs js script.js. okay, so in public we have js and script.js. So as you can see here, we are initializing the database, our dashboard. Using these are the line of code which are used to initialize our database, and if it fails, then a console and a log will printed on unable to initialize database if anything fail here. Okay, the thing which we are doing here is that basically checking the content. If the red LED is on, and we will click the red LED with our database. Like I need to show it here. As you can see it here, toggle red is off here. Let's edit this, let's make it on. This is basically a test to check how the dashboard is initialized on a refresh, on first request or a refresh or anything. Toggle red, we make it on and we click on save. As it saved, now we refresh it. Yeah, it's dueted. Now the dashboard is updated with new values. Let me check first, save and go back. Let me directly jump to the backend part, because the front end is quite easy and you can understand it by yourself as well, because I don't want to waste your more time, because it's a very long session then. So I will directly jump to the backend part, where I am storing data in the database. So this is the function we have used, doit.listen for node MCU dynamic. And node MCU dynamic is the thing which are basically on which we are sending data, which are we are sending LDR and ultrasonic data from our node MCU, and this thing is listened by this node.js in the dashboard script, in the dashboard in the dashboard route we have defined it. This is regularly asynchronously, as we know node.js is asynchronous, so this function is called every time regularly, and for every distance and LDR we are storing it in this manner. The gauge widgets.gauge store the content of LDR, doit.content.ldr. This is the same format. And similarly we update the database, and after that node MCU static, which contain red toggle, green toggle and slider, the static, these are updated by the node.js, and this is the data is sent to this field by our node the dashboard script.js. The data is sent by here. In the top you can see here, as soon as a green light changes, toggle it, we will send node MCU green LED is equal green LED this object, and as it turned off we will send green LED to 0. This is the type of object, and this is basically we are storing this data in our user field, in our user schema. And after all this thing we are basically rendering the dashboard with we are sending UID, creation time and email to the client end, to the EJS file. Fine. And this UID is very useful because the UID should be used at script.js. so the UID is received here as variable json.text. As you can see here, UID is sent to dashboard.ejs file, and in let me see EJS file of dashboard.ejs. We use dashboard.ejs. Yeah, so there's a line here. So what we have done here is we have hidden this field and we have sent it to our client, and we will catch it using this jQuery function. Fine. And all this thing is used in the client side JavaScript file as well, doit.io, because we are sending doit request doit.io API. We are sending values data to doit.io at the JavaScript end as well, using this using an API. This is the API provided by official API provided by doit.io client. It is the name. Let's see. It's a 60-star API, and you can simply add it using a CDN of doit.io like this. A simple script this type will do your job. And the ID field is very important, which we will be allocated after we create a user in our database, and we will basically move it here and fetch it here. And after now we will make request to this ID underscore node MCU underscore static. This is how our functionality works. And let's check once more this thing, node MCU static and node MCU static and dynamic. These two things are basically listening. These things are listened by node.js. Node.js is listening to these two things, and every data that is come to these things will be stored in our database. And node.js also do it or store or send data to node MCU underscore init thing, and in this thing this thing is listened by our dashboard. As soon as data is published by our at the initialization, at initially at starting point, the dashboard is initialized automatically at the starting with the with the last value stored in database. This thing is basically used for initializing our dashboard using database values, last stored database values. Okay, so these three things are the core of this project. If you are thinking why don't I use a simple node MCU thing, a single thing, and publish data there and subscribe to the subscribe or listen from Node.js or thing or similar type like this. The main reason is that because let me check session first. Okay, so because the point is we are basically using this thing, this node MCU dynamic thing. Why we are using this? We are using it as LDR value and distance value. These values are coming every second. These are basically, we are storing these values with timestamp, with time series. They are stored not direct, not as like as you can see in this schema. Yeah, let's check this. These are stored with when field as well. So for this is totally depend on your project itself, that how you want to use these things, because as we all know, we only can store 5 values with that free doit.io API. So using multiple multiple things is very useful in your project if your project is quite big, or if you want to explore more things. So as I have used here multiple things, so my project is quite easy, and it's quite not that tough, but it's quite complicated to understand, but it is understandable. It's you can get a clear picture when you will get the code, and you will work on the code with yourself. And I think we need to just check we need to see the demo for the new user which I have created, the iot@gmail.com. we will send data here, and how the data is initialized and everything, and after that we will summarize the session, and we will move. So I am basically copy this user ID here, and the sketch which I have provided, paste it in the auth ID field, and upload this sketch in your node MCU. And after that so I have uploaded the Arduino sketch to the our node MCU, and now as you can see in the serial monitor, we are making a get request, and I have already sent red LED as 0 before, and let me control our dashboard through this control our IoT setup with this dashboard. Let me send some data, like the data is coming here, and 450 around 450 500. Let me change it in real time. It's between 226 to 227, and as the distance will drop now, it's around 226. In the next request, yeah, the distance will down to 5 centimeter. Let me down this brightness. It's between 450 to 500 here, and after, as soon as we make a request here in the serial monitor, as soon as the request come, yeah, the request, in the next request we have sent it. The LDR data is 208, so it's now here. So you can visualize it more clearly now. So let me control some servo motor to 85 degree, and let me check the session first. Now let's set servo motor to 125 degree, and let's see the serial monitor. Yeah, slider will get 125 and our slider will move accordingly. Now you will get a basic idea how HTTP work with NodeMCU and how this dashboard. This basically you can say it HTTP REST API based dashboard, IoT dashboard. And the thing, it is slow, it is not as good as MQTT, and it's not that use good, but it can be useful with many projects. It has its own demand, and the connectivity with database and things like that is very useful. As you can see here, our database is like 226 and one value is around 227. And if we iot@gmail.com, and we will check the values, the real-time values of this database here as well. The toggle red is 1 here. Okay, first check the iot@gmail.com. let's check it. iot@gmail.com. okay, slider. Okay, might be some problem. Let me check. So I have figured out the issue. Let me the data is around 450 to 500, and ultrasonic values are this. And if we check, let's check this database. Yeah, now the values are correctly updating, and now the initialization also works fine. Now if we stop sending the data will be sent after that. But if we stop that, or if we reinitialize our let me refresh it, and the dashboard will let me check the issue. Content of undefined error. Content of undefined. This is a minor issue which I will fix it, and the code will be issue free, and the code which I will update or upload in the GitHub will not contain any of these issues. And I think you will understand the basics, and you can build your own project with the help of my code as well. And so I will end the session now, and thank you for joining all, and leave a like or share the video as well, because there are very less people in this channel, so we need some more. Or you can also Patreon me, become a Patreon member, so that you can help me on making more IoT sessions, because it gave me some more motivation, and also more equipments for recording. And so please like the video at least. Thank you.